As you can hear, the construction crew is still a thing. They've been at it for weeks now. There's nothing I can do about it. I can only continue to record reviews and release them as time goes on, so you're still gonna have to bear with me. I know I'm supposed to pick up white gloves for this type of thing, but I'm just taking advantage of the fact that I have gloves in general, using some old gloves that I wore for a Jon Snow costume this Halloween. Better than bare hands, I guess. Anyway, let's go ahead and begin. So the Bambino Gen 2 version 2 arrives in a box with a thin white outer layer of cardboard with the Orient logo printed on the outside. Open up the flaps and you'll see a higher quality black box with a metallic sheet and screws on its top half. The Orient logo is stamped on the front in black on top of that metallic sheet, and it looks rather nice. Now, you will also find the warranty and the instruction booklet inside so that you know how to operate your new watch, and so that you have it protected by Orient's very own services if it needs repairs in the near future. Now, you open up this black box and you'll see the Bambino itself looking even more beautiful than the images online portray it to be. Now, on the inner part of the top half of the box, you'll see the Orient logo printed in silver on a white background. Now, I picked up the gold-colored stainless steel design with a white face and chocolate brown leather strap. I realize it isn't exactly the most versatile watch around, but I did like a gold watch in my collection, and I don't wear dress watches too often, so I figured this was the best way to satisfy my needs with a beautiful watch at an affordable price point. Typically ranging at the $100 to $150 price point, the Orient Bambino comes in a variety of colors, tones, designs, and styles. You can also pick up the Bambino Gen 2 version 2 in silver stainless steel with a black face and a black leather strap, a cream face, giggity, and blue hands and a dark brown band, a white dial with blue hands and a dark brown band, and a white face with rose gold hands and, yes, you guessed it, a green band. Now, there are newer generations of the Bambino out there, but I picked up the Gen 2 version 2 because its Roman numerals and railroad chapter ring really spoke to me. The hands in Roman numerals are also gold colored, while the chapter ring is in black text. Every odd Roman numeral is replaced with a single vertical line, or Roman numeral 1, to replace the clutter on the dial. The number 4 has been replaced with 4 vertical lines. One quick Google search led to the reason that the Romans represented the god Jupiter, whose Latin name is written as currently shown on screen, as the number 4 on sundials. Out of respect, the Romans refused to use the god's name in written works/texts. Apparently, watchmakers carry on that tradition. Frankly, it took me far too long to notice these particular aspects myself, so I don't blame you if you didn't notice them immediately. Now, as for the size specs, this Bambino features a case diameter of 40.5 millimeters without the crown. With the crown, it measures 46.5 millimeters across. Many enthusiasts claim that 40 millimeters is quite large for a dress watch, and personally, I think that although 40 millimeters is on the larger side of things, the shape of the crystal allows the Bambino to disguise its actual size to that of a thinner, more elegant watch. That said, 40 millimeters is definitely the largest I would ever go with a dress watch. And just for the sake of a quick comparison, here it is next to my Skagen Matthys, which measures 39 millimeters in width, not including the, well, practically non-existent crown. Now, as you can see, it's not that much taller, but the Skagen is a remarkably thin watch, so that would make sense. It features a lug width of 21 millimeters, an odd size which will make it quite difficult to find a replacement strap if you choose to do so. Quick tip, if you're opting for a NATO strap, choose a width of 22 millimeters and just squeeze it in. I believe that has a far better effect than choosing a 20 millimeter and just having the extra wiggle room. Now, it features a case thickness of 11.8 millimeters with the crystal included, an aspect that makes the Bambino an excellent choice for a thin dress watch that fits underneath the cuff. The crystal itself is made of mineral and features a dome-shaped design to it. Now, the fact that the crystal tapers down to the edges of the case gives the watch a sleeker, thinner profile that, in my opinion, adds a certain finesse to the entire watch experience. Do keep in mind that mineral crystals scratch more easily than sapphire crystals, so that is kind of a clear disadvantage that you have here. Now, the watch does come with an Orient chocolate brown leather strap. Just a traditional gold colored buckle with the Orient brand name on it. Now the strap itself is definitely not the highest quality strap I have ever seen, but it gets the job done quite handily. For me, it took around a day or two for the leather to break in and start feeling comfortable. For my 6.25 inch wrist, the strap fits me ever so slightly loose on the third to smallest hole available, which is fine since that is how I prefer my dress watches to fit. As you can see, it does have a little extra bit of wiggle room in there if I push from the bottom up. Now the case back is unfortunately not see-through, although I wouldn't expect it to be given the watch's price. However, I can at least say that it is flat, so it feels quite comfortable on the wrist. Now this Bambino does feature the f6724 caliber movement, an automatic movement, obviously, that can also be manually wound clockwise and also features hacking. Now, a particular aspect of the manual winding feature that kind of struck me as odd is the sound it makes when winding it. I am used to my Omega Speedmaster Professional's ticking sound, since it is a manual watch that, as the name implies, can only be wound manually. The Bambino emits a sort of a grainy, sandpaper-like sound to it. Hopefully you can hear it past the construction crew, but here goes. Now on the left side. For those who are unaware, hacking implies that the second hand stops moving whenever the user pulls out the crown in order to adjust the time. So as you can see, second position, and the second hand has stopped. Now I put it back into place. And there it goes. As for the movement's accuracy, I really didn't notice any significant time loss or gain whatsoever. It has been quite accurate for my needs and has remained that way throughout my short time of ownership. More details on its accuracy coming up in the next watch video. Do keep an eye out for that one. Now the watch features a date window on the 3 o'clock position of the dial. So in order to change the date, you simply pull the crown out to the first position and you turn it clockwise. To change the time, pull the crown out to the second position and turn the crown counterclockwise to adjust the time. Counterclockwise accelerates time and clockwise rewinds time. Now this particular Bambino is rated for a power reserve of approximately 40 hours. My testing yielded a total of 45.5 hours on a single wind before it simply stopped altogether. So that's actually pretty great. Although this watch is rated at a water resistance of 30 meters, I really wouldn't trust this watch for swimming, or even bathing for that matter. But really, who wears a dress watch for these types of activities anyway? Now, one quick thing to note here, the watch's rotor can be quite loud, even for an automatic. So this is what it sounds like when I shake the watch at a moderate speed and moderate aggression. Now this is what it sounds like when I shake the watch on my wrist. This is what it sounds like when I rotate my wrist in what resembles a more realistic scenario. Of course, I can't do it now because the construction crew is making noise. So any noise that you might hear from the watch, you're going to hear the construction crew instead. Unfortunately, it just didn't pick up any noise at all because, sure enough, when you want it to make the noise, it doesn't make the noise. But trust me, in a realistic scenario, you can hear it if you're flipping your wrist an entire 180 degrees, like, flipping your palm face up to face down, and you're in a moderately quiet room, you can definitely hear the sound. Now, as for the watch's ticking itself, it is virtually silent. You would have to hold the watch right next to your ear in a room so quiet you could hear a pin drop to barely hear a resemblance of ticking. So, the conclusion. The Orient Bambino is a beautiful timepiece that both you and your wallet can agree on. Its $100 to $150 price point puts this at a very competitive position where it is basically the best automatic movement you can grab in this price bracket. However, as expected, the watch is not perfect and does have its own set of drawbacks. Obviously, this is, well, it's not real gold, The leather band can look a tad cheap due to its glossy appearance, the mineral crystal can be prone to scratches, and paying a professional to replace it can cost just about as much as the entire watch itself. Now on top of all of that, the rotor can be quite loud for most people. Depending on the person, the sound can either be well appreciated as a tip of the hat to vintage timepieces, or it can be a detriment and seen as annoying and cheap. So will I keep the Orient Bambino? For now, I definitely will. As I said in the beginning of the review, I was looking for an automatic dress watch with a vintage look and Roman numerals. It also happens that this watch ticks off the gold watch box on my list as well. As someone who does not wear dress watches or gold watches often, this particular Bambino does everything I want it to and looks amazing when I whip it out. Especially since the chocolate brown and gold match my Clubmaster eyeglasses beautifully. Anyway, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Ring the notification bell. You know what to do. Check out the Patreon, Amazon affiliate links at the bottom. So yeah, thank you very much for watching this video, and I hope it helped your purchasing decision. Have a good day.